So as I'm recording this right now, it is 11:18 a.m. It is Tuesday. It is April 7th, 2020. This is your Monday Night Raw review for April 6th, 2020. The Raw after WrestleMania. A WrestleMania that was too big for one night. You're going to keep hearing that, all right? Thankfully no more, but still, you just never know. And usually with Raw after WrestleManias, there's always that big, that show to look forward to, right? Who's going to make their main roster call up from NXT? You get to listen to that UK audience losing their fucking minds, right? The soccer chant and all that, right? Everyone having a fun time. Or if you've been there live, and I've been to a Raw after WrestleMania in the past, so I know what it's like. Everyone just going crazy. The next day they're going back home, so they're just gonna go all out for one more time, right? Then there's some people that are tired already that just want to go back home, right? One or the other. And this, to me, again, I understand. Listen. They're at the Performance Center. It was an empty, again, no people in the audience. It was pre-taped. Even with all that, again, the world's going to shit right now. This was a very depressing Raw after WrestleMania. Hell, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I turned the show off at 10 o'clock because I didn't care anymore. And granted, I know what you're going to say. Oh, Steve, you missed Nia Jax's return. Oh, Steve, you missed Drew McIntyre versus The Big Show from what happened at WrestleMania at the end. Oh, Steve, you missed, Humberto Carrillo in action. Oh, Steve, you missed the tag team up, which I actually caught, believe it or not. And so on and so forth. Listen, there's a thing called YouTube clips. Look it up, people. Look it the fuck up. Okay? Just saying. And that's how I caught up with everything. Even with that, it's like, whatever. Who gives a shit? Who really gives a flying shit? But you know what? There's some of you out there that actually did enjoy it for what it was. What I've learned from Monday Night Raw, from what I saw and all that stuff, that you know what? Having a new Netflix show earns you a WWE title match, which I'll get into in a little bit as well. But if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Give the video a big old thumbs up. Why the fuck would you not? Share the video through social media, because why the fuck would you not? Follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven, because, again, why the fuck would you not? Just saying. So this show, this depressing Raw after WrestleMania, kicked off with the match. A Asuka versus Liv Morgan match. Why? I have no idea. This is the way you kick off a Raw after WrestleMania. Now, this is just me, of course. To me, every Raw after WrestleMania, hell, every Raw after a pay-per-view should kick off with the brand's top champion. In this case, hey, it's Drew McIntyre. He won the WWE title at WrestleMania. Too big for one night. To find out, he did double duty at said WrestleMania. Too big for one night this past Sunday. Even though that was pre-taped, he did double duty, right? He beat Brock Lesnar, and then he beat The Big Show, right? Which we found out later on in the show. But the point of the matter is, hey, he beat Brock Lesnar. Right? He beat the beast. So he should have his moment on Raw. Do a promo, what have you. And if you really wanted to, right, have Big Show show up instead of it being at WrestleMania, should have done it last night on Raw. Even though, again, it was pre-taped. I understand that again. Again, have Drew come out, thank everyone, talk about everyone, again, talk about his story, how he, at one time he was the chosen one, how he took that for granted, got released, took over the indies, right? Won a couple world titles here and there, Impact Wrestling, ICW, Evolve, what have you, right? Came back to WWE, and here he is, on top of the mountain now, the guy in WWE. That's what I would have done. Not have for whatever reason, Asuka versus Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan, who beat Natalya at WrestleMania on the kickoff show. Asuka, who lost with Kairi Sane their women's tag team titles to Nikki Cross and Lex Bliss. They had a random match. No one gave a shit. And Asuka won with the Asuka lock. Once again, no one's ready for Asuka. What the fucky whoop-de-doo. From there, we had the Raw Tag Team Championship match. A rematch, by the way, from WrestleMania from Sunday, which was too big for one night. Which, by the way, I did say in the review of Night 2 with myself. We had Chase Oliver. We had Big Mike from Big Mike Wrestling Recap Show. And we also had Walter in our WrestleMania review for Night 2, which, by the way, is up in the video archives of the channel if you have not checked it out yet, right? We did a recording, what have you, like an hour or so worth of listen, actually. And in that review, I said, don't be surprised if they do a rematch on Monday, and whoop-de-fucking-do, you might as well call me, you know what? Call me Mystic Steve, because I predict shit, and it happens. We get the rematch. Austin Theory and Angel Garza, accompanied by Zelina Vega versus the Street Profits. And honestly, I just didn't care for this match at all. It went by disqualification. When Zelina Vega interfered, just like at WrestleMania, the same fucking bullshit, right? Granted, at WrestleMania, the Street Profits won, but here, Zelina got involved. She interfered, and they once again attacked Montez Ford, which summoned Bianca Belair to make the save again. And Bianca Belair, she got out there. She looked like she was going to clear the ring. She made the save, right? And she announced that she's officially on Monday Night Raw. She's part of the Raw roster. So she's now the EST of WWE, or EST of Monday Night Raw. I'm fine with it for now. You know, she's on Raw. What else is left for her to do in NXT? Nothing really. She already faced Charlotte Flair. She faced Shayna Baszler. She faced Io Shirai. So it is what it is at this point in the juncture. I just hope they don't make her as a valet for the Street Profits. I get why you would put them together, right? The Street Profits with Bianca Belair, because again, Bianca is the wife of Montez Ford. What a lucky bastard. So there's that, right? To which then we had Zelina Vega versus Bianca Belair. And this went to a no contest. So we think. Because the teams were at ringside. So you had the Street Profits at ringside, and you had Angel Garza and Austin Theory at ringside. And here's the thing about it, okay? This whole thing felt like forever with the same people. It just felt very lazy. I get it. It's to kill an hour, basically. So it felt like it was just kill an hour, basically, right? So from there, we had a 6-person tag. The Street Profits with Bianca Belair versus Angel Garza, Austin Theory, and Zelina Vega. And that one, what can I say? Bianca Belair, again, this match, again, for what it was normal, whatever. Bianca Belair pinned Vega after a KOD. So all of it just for the Street Profits and Bianca Belair to get the upper hand. And there's that. There's fucking that. They killed a whole hour almost with these individuals. Good for them. From there, we had a post-match interview with Bobby Lashley, where, again, he lost to Aleister Black at WrestleMania, too big for one night. And I think it was Charlie Caruso who interviewed him. And he basically told Charlie Caruso that he needed new management or a new wife. Because, again, he was upset. He had Aleister Black beat. He had him beat Lana Man to do a spear, which landed in Aleister Black hitting the Black Mass kick for him to lose. Lana comes in. Lashley walks out. So you see Lana staring at Charlie Caruso. I'm not saying that they're going to probably plant Charlie Caruso, even though she does look beautiful as all hell. And it's funny how Lashley was staring at Charlie Caruso for a little bit, like checking her out, like peeping her for a bit, which I don't blame him really. When he needs new management, a new wife. I'm not, again, they're planting the seeds of this divorce, this breakup finally, right? That no one even gave a shit about. So it makes me think I'm gonna give a shit about this divorce. Just saying, no one's gonna give a shit about it. It's so stupid. But there's that. Something for Lashley to do. Why the fuck not? Speaking of Lashley's WrestleMania opponent, Aleister Black had a competitive match. That's right, a very competitive match with Apollo Crews, of all people. Back and forth. There's a moment of the match where Apollo Crews was holding on to his leg. There's a moment where his foot, like, it bent like this a little bit. Like, it looked like he sprained his ankle almost. But again, he's selling the fact that Aleister Black was working on the leg, kicking on the leg, right? He countered multiple attempts of the Black Mass kick. It looked like they gave you the belief that, oh my God, Apollo Crews might actually pull it off, get a win. But no. Eventually, just like everyone else, Apollo Crews faded to black. And that was that. Again, it's a fine, competitive match, all the fuck you want. But let's be realistic about it, though. Let's be really realistic about it. Do you really think, honestly, that they're really going to do anything with Apollo Crews at this stage of the game? Fuck no. Absolutely not. They did also say that a lot of these trades are expiring, it looks like. So it looked like we'll be getting a draft real soon. That includes Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. I want to believe. So there's that. Okay, to look forward to. Hopefully we get some people back to NXT. Maybe EC3. Eric Young for all fucking people, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe even Apollo Crews. Why the fuck not? We had a tag team match, playa. The new tag team of Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. How am I not surprised? They made these two guys a fucking team. Why the fuck not? For the Raw Tag Team Division. Versus Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch of NXT. Now, a lot of people believe that Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch are now part of the main roster. I don't really think so. They did mention NXT, guys from NXT. Maybe so. I could be wrong, right? If they got called up to the main roster, fine, I guess. Why the hell not? But I'm not really convinced that they're part of the Raw brand, to be honest with all of you. So they had a match. It was a fine match, what have you. Cedric Alexander and Ricochet picked up the win after Ricochet pinned Lorcan after hitting the recoil. And there's that. Again, it's something for Cedric and Ricochet to do. Team up for now. Do I see them having a classic match with the Street Profits one day? Who knows, really? Hopefully it leads up to that. Hopefully it does. One can hope. From there, we get Seth freaking Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah, in a squash match. Yeah, he put up against Denzel DeJourte from NXT. DeJourte, whatever the fuck you're going to pronounce it as. Doesn't really matter. It's a squash match. He had this look on his face that he was pissed off. He lost to Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, which was too big for one night. So he's pissed off, he lost, and he took it out on this jobber from NXT. He even dressed up like a jobber too, just saying. He didn't say shit either. Speaking of squash, we continued the squash fest here. We had the return of Nia Jax. That's right. She's not like most. She returned from injury. She faced up against Deonna Purrazzo from NXT. Again, I don't think Deonna Purrazzo is up on the main roster right now. It's just something for them to do. If you're going to have enhancement matches, if you will, might as well use the people from NXT. Why the fuck not? Right? And this was also a squash match. Another squash, right? Nia Jax won after she finished off Purrazzo with Paige's Rampage DDT. So there's that. I guess if you really want to, you can plant off, right? Down the road, a Becky versus Nia match for the Raw Women's title. I don't want to say SummerSlam. I really don't. It doesn't really scream SummerSlam to me. However, I get why they would do it, right? After all, Nia is the one who broke Becky's nose and started off this whole, road for Becky Lynch to being the double champion and all that stuff, right? However, at the same time, I'll be honest with you guys. A part of me wishes that Nia would have gone to SmackDown. Because here you have someone like Nia Jax, who's this big, fierce woman, right? At the same time, on the same brand, you have Shayna Baszler. Even though Shayna lost to Becky, in her promo, she talked about the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. So she wants Becky to feel the agony of her defeat. Telling me that, hey, we might get one more match. Even though Shayna should have won at WrestleMania, at the same time, I'm not surprised she didn't win. So there's that. Again, what do you do? Again, you have Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax on the same roster, which to me makes no sense at all. Okay? You should have just taken Nia Jax to SmackDown. Why the fuck not? Okay? At this point in the juncture. We had highlights of the Boneyard match, which, again, if you were to tell me if I had to choose between the Boneyard match or the Firefly Funhouse match from WrestleMania, too big for one night, I'm going to go with the Boneyard match. That was amazing stuff from WrestleMania. And again, I said this on the podcast, reviewing WrestleMania both night 1 and night 2. The one thing that I got out of both shows is that when WWE wants to be creative as fuck, they can be creative as fuck. And you won't even see it coming. So hats off to WWE for that. We then get Humberto Carrillo versus Brendan Vink. Humberto won with the moonsault. Brendan Vink is this tall guy, trying to overpower Carrillo to no avail because, again, he won with the fucking moonsault. Again, no one gives a shit. I don't give a fuck about Humberto Carrillo. And I'm Hispanic. That just says a lot. They picked the wrong future Spanish guy to push. Just saying. From there, we get the end of the show. And this is what really had everyone just stuck by surprise. Because this is, again, and I said this earlier in the review, they should have kicked off the show with this. With Drew McIntyre in the ring, right? He's celebrating. Hell, him in street clothes, I don't give a fuck. He's celebrating. He won the WWE title. Thanking everyone, even thanking Paul Heyman like he did in this promo because he gave Brock bad advice to finish him off with the F5 because he won't get back up, and he was proven wrong. He had the Claymore kick and beat Brock Lesnar. And then after this, out came because apparently all this that I'm saying right now happened after WrestleMania, minutes after, right? The cameras went off, and I guess it was like after WrestleMania, if you will. Because even Drew says in the promo, now that he's been champion now for 20-something minutes. And the next thing you hear is the Big Show's theme song. This right here, you could have put in the beginning of the show for Raw after WrestleMania. Hey, in the main event, Drew defended the WWE title. Why the fuck not? And Big Show comes out with the referee, talking about how, again, he's a giant, while, again, Drew's just a big guy, this and that. Saying that he's a coward. He doesn't believe what Drew is saying. Drew doesn't want to fight him at all. Drew's like, listen, I'm not fighting you right now. And again, just Big Show trying to punk on Drew McIntyre here. And then he slaps him. And then we have an impromptu match for the WWE Championship. So in other words, the Big Show, technically main evented WrestleMania. Got himself a WWE title match. And you can say, he got under Drew's skin, Steve. You got to understand that. Drew was mad. He got pissed off. So in all that anger and emotion, he put the title on the line against the Big Show, the Giant. And he won anyway. He's not like he lost, Steve. It's not the point, though. I think people forget that a Big Show now has on Netflix a new TV show or a new show on Netflix called The Big Show. I haven't watched it yet. From what I've heard, it's all right. Nothing to go crazy about, right? But let me find the name of the show here again. I'm watching a lot. I've been binge watching Netflix like crazy these past couple of days. Here we go. But yeah, I've been binge watching Netflix for the last couple of days. But apparently the Big Show now has a show on Netflix called The Big Show. That's the name of his show now. The Big Show. It's in the top 10, believe it or not. at number 7 right now as we speak. It has about, I want to say, 8 episodes in on season 1 of Netflix. I might watch it later. But from what I've heard though from people, it's all right. One of the best things on the show has Jaleel White, who played Steve Urkel in Family Matters. And again, the factor in the, hey, because of this, WWE not dumb here. They want to capitalize on the fact that, hey, Big Show has now a show on Netflix. So what way to capitalize it? Hey, let's put him in there for a WWE title match. I don't agree with it at all. I think it's dumb. It's stupid. But that's the reason that I want to believe why this even happened. Can you imagine what would have happened if the Big Show would have won the WWE title from Drew McIntyre? I mean, in storyline, hey, honestly, I could, if this was a storyline, hey, he got his moment, and just like that, took it away from him, and Drew having to chase the Big Show and chase the championship all over again. A couple years ago, fine. Now, nah, I'm good, bruh. And thankfully, Drew won with the Claymore kick. Just like that. So in one night, Drew McIntyre beat the Big Show and Brock Lesnar. Good on him. And that was Monday Night Raw. Again, a depressing show. Made no fucking sense. Their format sucks. And this is going to keep on happening. Apparently, there's talk of them filming more shows. They need to just stop. After all these taping that they've had in the can ends, that's it. Take a pause until God knows when. So there's that. But give me your thoughts, guys, in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below as well. You can follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. I did say this on Twitter. I'm going to say here now. I do plan on doing a retro pay-per-view review on a weekly base going forward now that we're post WrestleMania right now. And being that there's not going to be a lot of live shows going forward as far as wrestling is concerned, a lot of pre-tape shit. So just to have some consistency on the channel, if you will, besides the podcast that I do around the point every single weekend, how about I do a retro pay-per-view review? I do have the WWE Network. I do have Impact Plus. So what better way to capitalize that I have both these platforms to watch wrestling and what have you than to retro review a show from the past from either Impact Wrestling or WWE, being that WWE has the stuff from WCW, ECW as well. So why the fuck not? So expect in the upcoming weeks retro pay-per-view reviews here on the YouTube channel. All right? Thank you all for watching. All you dorks and mother flowers. This has been your Raw review. I'm Steve. This has been Around the